Alrighty, so let's talk about the whole reason why I bought the Ducati Desert X. Well, we've got to take a little bit of a step back. The whole reason why I ordered the Yamaha Tenere World Raid was for this trip that I'm about to show you here. Now, as of today, which is the 10th of May, 2023, the Tenere World Raid still doesn't exist in Australia yet. So when I ordered it, there was no release date. Back in November, they came out and said it's going to be this price and it will be released within the first quarter of 2023. We're now in the second quarter of 2023 and this trip is coming up in a few weeks' time. So I'm very, very glad that I changed over to the Desert X. The cruise control itself, like, take out the fact that the Desert X was cheaper than the World Raid. It still is on paper. You can just go get it in a few places a lot cheaper than what you can order the World Raid for. Cruise control by itself has just paid for it. The last trip that I just got back from was 400 plus Ks in one go on the highway, and cruise control just saved the arms. No hassles there. So this trip that I'm talking about, I'll get the little pink stickers. I'll be riding the Desert X from the most southern point of mainland Australia to the most northern point of mainland Australia. So we've got South Point down here in Wilson's Prom, and the most northern point just north of Bamaga, Pajinka, which is classed as the tip, up here. The plan is, which I'll go into more detail now, so the idea is to go from the signpost at the most southern point to the signpost at the most northern point. The issue is you can't ride a motorbike to the most southern point. The closest you can get is to Telegraph Saddle car park, and then it's a 15K walk in and a 15K walk out. That's the issue there. At the northern point, it's about 800 meters from what I've been told and looked at. Never actually been there, that's why we're going there. The plan is to do that as quick as possible, but as safe as possible. Like, I'm not going to be riding at night time. I just want to do as many Ks during the day as I can, camp at certain spots and get to the top, and then have a relaxing sort of trip down the coast all the way back home. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'll just label in the exact spots where I'll be going through. What I've done is I've labeled fuel stops or places to get fuel. One thing I did get just in case, which I didn't take on my little shakeout trip because it only arrived this morning, I'll just grab it. Okay, so I've got the Giant Loop 2 gallon or 7.6 litre bladder that arrived just this morning. I got this mainly for when I get up north, depending on the time of day. The fuel station's shut, they might not have fuel. And with this, from what I worked out, just cruising on the highway, it's going to be, if it's just highway, I get about 600 Ks range out of the bike. Obviously, we start talking dirt tracks and that sort of thing up here, so it's going to be nowhere near that, but it's just going to be nice to have this in reserve if need be, and it rolls up to nothing. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll just label all the other fuel stops along the way, and you'll be able to see the route that I'm going through. Okay, so whack the hiking shoes on, leave Telegraph Saddle, and we head down to South Point along a very well maintained road by Parks Victoria, but they're the only people that are allowed on it. They don't allow public. So get to South Point, hit the stopwatch, and we're off again. 7 hours and a bit over 7 hours, and be 30 Ks of walking till we get back to Telegraph Saddle car park, where I jump on the bike and we're off again. Get some food at Leongatha, some fuel at Wallen, and then we cross the border at Tokenwall. Haven't picked a spot to camp. It's just going to be a matter of riding during the daylight hours, camping when it's dark, because I really don't feel like riding in the dark, dodging animals, that sort of thing. These sorts of areas here, I've just put in to possibly get fuel at as well. Hughenden, that road there is currently under maintenance, so that's going to be an interesting one. Get through to Atherton, Lakeland. Cohen, which is coming up. If I get fuel there and my bladder, I should make it all the way through to Bamaga. and then it's only another 30 k's from Bamaga to the North Point. Well, I hope you're looking forward to this trip, because I am, and now it's time to get back to fixing just a few little things on the bike. Okay, let's just talk about a few things I noticed while doing this last trip. So 400 plus k's, a lot of it was on highway, and you get to hear all the noises and rattles. So this is the left side passenger foot peg. And I had a look at a couple of others that were in the showrooms and that as well, just recently. And the left side passenger is exactly the same. I'll show you the right side passenger. So give it a wiggle, nice and solid. So I asked the dealer and they can't work it out either. So apart from that rattle that you can constantly hear, that's a pretty easy fix. I don't have passengers anyway, so I'm just going to take the pin out and take both the pegs off. The only other issue I had is, it's not even really an issue, it's just a wear item. Just need to tighten up the chain. Chain was a bit loose. What I might do is upgrade this chain guard to a metal one. I've still got some mud on the bike. Might do is upgrade this chain guard to a metal one, because it's going to be a lot of vibration like that, and I can just see it right here, that's going to snap. But bike-wise, went really well. The stack was all my fault. There's not even a scratch on the bike from it. I'll show you where it fell. Okay, so this is what took the brunt of the damage. Not even a scratch on it. I wouldn't even say damage. The bike just leant over, which then threw me off onto a rocky area, which hurt the ribs. But bike-wise, yeah, not an issue. Not even the bark busters had an issue.